All right, if you frequent Virginia Lake, maybe you run around it, go picnic, you might have noticed one of its most popular inhabitants missing over the past few weeks.
And I know I love seeing this bird every time I go around the lake because I go for walks there pretty often. And I'm sure a lot of people who do the same thing are missing this bird too. It's actually a swan. Elizabeth Olveda joins us live at the newsroom with some bittersweet news about him. And Liz, a lot of us want to know, is he going to come back?
Yeah, Landon, well, he should be back at the lake once the weather gets a little bit warmer, and that's because right now he's still recovering from an illness that left him unable to stand and even lift his head earlier this month. Virginia Lake is home to flocks of different types of birds, but one stands alone in his species. His name is Ludwig, more affectionately known by one of his admirers as
Mr. Swan, for just the way he runs the lake.
Unfortunately, many lake visitors have noticed him missing for several weeks. The reason?
He's unable to lift his head, unable to stand, really lethargic, had a lot of discharge from his nose.
Luckily, back on February 2nd, 2 women walking the lake noticed the swan suffering and rushed him to a nearby vet.
One of them carried him on their lap because he could hardly hold his head up.
He probably hadn't eaten for several days.
There, he was examined, given fluids, and transferred to the Wild Animal Infirmary with medications. There, he's under the care of Nancy Laird, an RN who nurses wildlife back to health. Initially, she feared this was the result of something cruel.
She says, I think somebody probably just kicked him, but there's no proof of that.
But the vet tells us the bird probably just had a pretty bad infection.
There was a little bit of a crook in the neck. It's stable. Maybe it was an old fracture, but that's unlikely.
Whatever the case may be, Ludwig is almost fully recovered now, standing on his own again.
He wants to get back to his lake.
Les says he and others can't wait for his return.
He might outlive me and a lot of those people that go around there.
Now, the swan was set to be released back to the lake last Sunday, but it was too cold and his caretaker didn't want to risk him catching pneumonia. But he will be back at the lake as soon as our temperatures warm back up. Covering the story live in the newsroom, Elizabeth Olveda, Channel 2 News.
I love how observant everyone is. I've seen that swan out there before.
And absolutely. And there's also not just the swan, but there's also a different group of ducks that I've noticed too. Because honestly, you're able to, and I'm sure the people who go around the lake can agree, you can see the same kind of bird all the time and based on different feather features and stuff. So it's really not that far-fetched to notice when one bird is not there, especially the swan. So glad to see he'll be back in a little bit.